business. Guess what time it is? It's NFL Prime Time. Yeah! Oh, just another calm Sunday. Hey, no auto racing. We're on at the start. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to Week 2 of NFL Primetime. And with us, as always, my compatriots. And we have not even New England compatriots. Tom Jackson, Robin Roberts, and a great card today in the NFL, and plenty to show. First, we're going to update you on all the late scores around the NFL. Most of these games are final. Matt Darby's interception in the last moments of the game sealed Dallas's fate. The champs start 0-2. Buffalo wins in Big D, 13-10, and so Dallas has some head-scratching. We'll have long highlights of that later on. Chargers and the Broncos. Denver has beaten them 20 out of the last 23 at Mile High Stadium. Probably make it 24. About a buck to go in the game. The Broncos leading 34-17. Jets and the Dolphins. Jets always play the Dolphins tough. Today, no exception. They win it. Joe Robbie, first win of the year for any kind for New York, 24-14. And the Steelers go out to Anaheim to play the Rams. They have still never beaten this franchise on the road anywhere. In Anaheim, in the Mausoleum, in Cleveland, it doesn't matter. Rams win it 27-0. But we will start at the beginning of the day with the Bucks and the Giants. Now, why would we start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you ask? Well, I don't know. They make their 13th quarterback change since 1990, so you figure they're going to change things up. Maybe their luck will change. But, you know, they're 0-4 against the Giants at the Meadowlands. 0-2 against the Jets at the Meadowlands, 0-2 against the Jets at Chase Stadium. So basically what we're trying to say is, no matter how you change things, sometimes things remain the same. And unfortunately for Tampa Bay, that was true today. Dan Reeves, while the Giants aren't the same, Rodney Hampton goes for 6 yards. Then Hampton wants to move in the backfield, and then he cuts back. He's showing the Pro Bowl style for 22 yards, Tom.
Chris, you get a great kick-out block here by Jumbo Elliott, and then the power of Rodney Hampton as he runs by people and through people.
Well, Tampa Bay expecting to run. Sims all day to throw. The crisscross to Howard Cross. On the right side, touchdown for the tight end. 7-0 G-Man. Dan Reeves then goes back to the ground. Rodney Hampton, the pitch, runs the left side for 7 yards. Hampton, let's try the other side, out of the dark and into the light. Neil Young saying that's 7 yards. Then Tampa expects to run. Sims still showing the mobility, sets up, has time, and Mike Sherrard between 3 defenders comes down with it. He got a break, Tom.
It was a great catch off the tip pass, but watch Sherrard here. He's not actually looking at the ball as it comes into his hand. Great concentration, maybe.
Rodney Hampton, though, good concentration, good churn from the 2-yard line. A touchdown to Hampton. On 134 yards on 29 carries, the Giants lead it 14-0. Sam I Am. Well, Sam I Am not yet changing it around because Reggie Cobb, no game. Reggie Cobb running the ball, and he was a big runner last year, but no game. And Reggie Cobb, I mean, he ran for a lot of yards last year for Tampa Bay. He's the workhorse of this offense, but no game. He manhandled the Bucs to 15 yards rushing in the first half. Second half, Sam Weiss started the youngster Craig Erickson instead of Steve DeBerg. Today lets him throw the ball. At times, Erickson looked all right. Here he finds Lawrence Dawsey for 24 yards. And you think Dawsey isn't fired up? I guess so. Erickson 16 of 28, most of them for the shorter variety. That was a good play. Erickson goes to free agent pickup Vince Workman, my way back to you, babe, who works his way to the 1-yard line. So, on 4th down, you got to go for it. What do? Sam sometimes likes the trickery they give it to Cobb, but these are the Buccaneers. Inches short. It looked like he was in on this shot, Tommy, but another look.
Yeah, I thought it was a great call by the official. You watch Cobb here. He gets underneath the towel. He's down right there, and then he squeezes up over the plane of the goal line. Good call by the ref.
Well, he only rushed for 45 yards. Not a good way to get going. Last year, Tampa had an optimistic September that began 3-1, but today they fall to 0-2, and at the Giants. Giants begin 2-0 in the Dan Reeves era and win today by the count of 23-7. 1 year, Tampa will get good, but not a good start right now. And I don't know, Tommy, for the Giants, yes, they have not played the 49ers or the Buffalo Bills. I mean, these games will come up for them, but you kind of understand where they are, and they understand where they are with this new coaching staff.
Something they didn't have last year. It was a good, solid performance, both offensively and defensively. I thought Rodney Hampton had a great game. But you see the calming influence of Dan Reeves. This is a team now that doesn't make crucial mistakes at crucial times in a game. They were supposed to go into Tampa Bay and beat them handily, no pun intended, and they did.
All right, they did, and the Giants win it. And so for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as we go inside the numbers, they fall to 0-2. And like we say, maybe they need the orange shirt and the orange pants to get them going like they did last year. Their first 2 games have only amassed 356 yards. For example, the Saints, whose highlights are coming up, they get 356 yards in the first half today alone. Plenty to come on this hour-long edition of NFL Primetime. Saints and the Falcons, you talk wild, we got wild. You talk Joe, we had no Joe. We'll tell you about the Chiefs in a moment against the Oilers. And the Super Bowl rematch. Would Buffalo extract revenge against the Cowboys? Stay with us.
You saw yourself on a Harley.
NFL Primetime is brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural. Proud to be your bud.
All right, welcome back to NFL Primetime. And the Saints and the Falcons have become a good rivalry over the years because they really were expansion teams pretty close to the same time.
Right.
They kind of each got good for a little while. Of course, the Saints have stayed good. But if they can't beat anyone else on the schedule, they like to do it to their southern rivals.
And on the road, they like this in the NFC West. Something about this. Trading places, the theme in this one. Chris Miller's old backup, Wade Wilson, now starts for the Saints, and the Saints' former starter, Bobby Hebert, well, he now backs up Miller in Atlanta. And all 3 would play a role in this one at the Georgia Dome. Bobby Hebert now backing up Chris Miller in Atlanta. Wade Wilson now starting for the Saints, and Wilson's team got out first. Saints' first play from scrimmage, rookie running back Lorenzo Neal takes over the middle, gets stopped, but he is not down. He comes out of it somehow, and he's off to the races. Can anyone catch him? Well, maybe Dion, but, you know, he's off playing with the Braves. Bruce Pickens finally gets there, but it's too late. A 74-yard touchdown, 7-0 Saints. Could Gary Glanville be thinking of flying Dion in via helicopter, TJ?
Well, this is a situation where a ball club relaxes right there. You see the pile up, you see the point of attack, stop, and the ball carrier squirts out. You can't relax like that on defense.
Nuh-uh, not with Morton Anderson. Here he breaks the NFL record for consecutive field goals with 25, a 27-yarder, Saints up by 10. Then it was a Wade Wilson show. He hits Quinn Early with a 42-yard strike, 17-7 Saints. And then Wilson again going to work, hooking up with Early from 18 yards out this time. And I'm sure at this point the Falcons want Dion any way they can, by bike, by horse, by tractor. Just get him in there some kind of way. But you know what? The secret to the Saints' success at draft day. What are you doing there?
Why?
Get out of there. The 93 draft choice. Great time. Neal, Derek Brown, Thurr Smith, William Rote with a pancake of Chuck Smith right there. The Saints rookies on the day, 2 touchdowns and a pancake. Then in the third quarter, it began to unravel for New Orleans. Here, Lorenzo Neal gets tackled by Scott Case. He left the game with a fractured ankle. Meanwhile, Chris Miller, very ineffective, not finding his receivers, but he would find a Saint, Gene Atkins, with a pick. So Glanville turns to Bobby Hebert, and he drives the Falcons down to the Saints 4. It's Michael Haynes on the slant for the touchdown. 31-17 Saints. Falcons get the ball back on their own 2. And it's Hebert with a hot hand. He finds Michael Haynes wide open, and he goes 98 yards for the touchdown. What happened, TJ?
Well, Robin, from 98 yards away, this is basically a 100-yard sprint where Michael Haynes can outrun Gene Atkins, and he does right here for the touchdown.
Just like that. 31-24, more Hebert. You can't stop this guy. He looks for Steve Broussard in the end zone. The pass is tipped and caught by Mike Pritchard, a 3-yard strike. The game is tied at 31, but Morton Anderson had a chance to win it late in the fourth. He misses a 50-yarder. His streak was ended earlier. The game is still tied. Falcons ball. Ronaldo Turnbull, the man who replaced Pat Swilling, he stripped Hebert, so you can't give this guy a second chance on the last play of the game. The Saints win it by a final of 34-31. Looks like it was going to be easy. A nail-biter. Hebert, 14 of 18 for 243 yards. Chris Miller, 6 of 15 for 85. Now the question is, who will Glanville start next week, Hebert or Miller? The Falcons off to an 0-2 start, just the opposite for the Saints. They're now 2-0. Let's go inside the numbers. And once again, the Great Dane comes through for the Saints. Morton Anderson. I would say he's automatic from 3-point range. He broke Kevin Butler's record of 24 consecutive field goals. The Chargers' John Carney had a shot to move up on this list. Boomer will tell us more about that later. when prime time rolls on. Drew Bledsoe, Patriots rookie, is showing a lot of poise for a first-year quarterback. How'd he fare against the Lions? Boomer has all the highlights next.
Not even Bonnie and Clyde could
Watch the Denver Broncos beat the San Diego Chargers 34-17. Highlights of that game in a moment. And welcome back to NFL Primetime. The Detroit Lions and the New England Patriots, lots new with both teams. The Lions had yet to lose in either August or September. And, of course, the new look Pats. They have a new coach. They've got a new quarterback. The only thing that doesn't look good, we got to admit, the unis. Unis look USFL. But you know what looked great at the stadium today? In the booth, doing the color, Dennis Byrd.
Hey, James, I'm having a great time. This is something I've never been able to do at halftime. Enjoy a hot dog and just relax.
And we've all enjoyed seeing Dennis just be at football games and enjoy himself. What a great sight. Not a great sight for Bill Parcells early. Opening kickoff return. Willie Clay pips it up, and he runs in for a touchdown. On the fumble by Troy Brown, Parcells and company behind. Barry Sanders was stacked up in the first half by the P-men. 8 carries for only 20 yards in the first half, Tom.
Yeah, and after all that money Detroit spent on the offensive line, they expect more from them, especially in the running game, where they should be pretty good.
So those are Barry's first half numbers, but those hardly tell the story. More on that in a moment. Some of the youngsters that the Patriots draft, but we know about Bledsoe, but look at Chris Slade. Rookie pass rusher from Virginia, sacked Pete, caused the fumble. Set up assist and field goal, made it 7-6. Slade had 3 sacks and a fumble today. Sanders, different in the second half. Here, a big gain, and a patented churn by Barry at 24 carries for 128 yards in the second half. It helped set up a Jason Hanson field goal, 27-yarder, made it 13-9 Lions. Now the field goal makes it 16-9 Lions with time running down. Look at the wing by Drew Bledsoe to Greg McMurtry for a first down. Then Vincent Frisbee over the middle. Bledsoe looks to Parcells for the play. First and goal, the 3:20 seconds to go. It's a fumble. Spielman with the hit. Mark Spindler with the recovery. Wayne Fonts is jubilant. But wait a minute. There's a flag on the play. Defensive holding. The Patriots get another shot, first down. Next play, first and goal at the 2. Bledsoe to Frisbee. Touchdown. The Patriots at Parcells' club has tied it. Last play of the fourth quarter. Watch 86 Willie Green on the Hail Mary. Oh, man, he was open. But they just don't complete it. It's intercepted. We go to overtime. We play 11 minutes of overtime until Jason Hanson, field goal. Good. They talked about Washington State's Drew Bledsoe in this game. But Hanson, his Washington State teammate, wins it for Detroit, who are 6-0-1 combined. Detroit beats the game New England Patriots 19-16. Barry Sanders 148 yards on the day. We go from there to Cincinnati for the Colts and the Bengals. And what a great game this was. Jeff George, again, sitting out. He's the emergency quarterback for the Colts. Terry Cash rocked by Darrell Williams on the pass by Trudeau. Trudeau this time leveled by Sheldon White, picked off by Sheldon White after he was leveled. He was shaken up on the play, and on the sidelines, it's not George getting ready, it's the Magic Man. John Mikowski, who started to warm up. Never got in. Bengals couldn't take advantage of the field position, though. David Klingler, he's going to be good. The overthrow to Pickens could have made the catch. Field goal, though, makes it 3-0 Cincinnati. More troublesome offense for the Colts. Trudeau, the folly floater, Watt, picked off by Darrell Williams. 2 interceptions in the first half by the Bengals. But again, Klingler couldn't capitalize because they just bungled in the jungle near midfield. Klingler sacked by Skip McClendon. Both teams struggling. It's 3-3 at the half. Second half, about the same. Trudeau checks off at the line of scrimmage, looking for Terry Cash. He can't hold on. We're tied at 6 in the fourth quarter. Dean Piasucci tries to put the Colts head from 39 yards, but it's not even close. Then the Bengals, they cut Jim Breach for Doug Bats in the Pelfrey. And guess what? For a 9-6 lead, it's not close. He misses the 35-yarder, 6-6 under 2 minutes to go. Quentin Coriat and the Colts D takes over. The jump to Fenner. Coriat makes the play. Next play. The second-year man on the delayed blitz causes Klingler to cough it up. John Baylor picks it off. Ted Marchaproda sees his defense give him a chance. David Shula can't believe it. And this time, from 42, This is the Pro Bowl form of a few years ago for Dean Biasucci. It's good. Mercifully, it ended. The Colts beat the Cincinnati Bengals by the count of 9-6. Nary a touchdown scored. Not even a sellout in Cincinnati. As, well, the Colts, they win. It wasn't pretty, but they get the win. Let's go back to New England, who did not win, Tommy. But how did you see Drew Bledsoe playing today? His second game. First one looked good for about a half, and then stumbled in the second half against Buffalo. Today, how would you rate him?
Well, he's going to make rookie mistakes, but I think as people get a chance to watch Drew week in and week out, he has great arm strength, and the thing that Bill Parcells was very high on, and I think one of the main reasons he started him is his calm in the pocket. He said this kid does not have nervous feet. You watch him here working from his own 10-yard line. He backs up. The pressure is on him. Now, yes, Pat Swilling got the ball, but you like the kid being oblivious to the pressure. Here comes Pat Swilling again. He doesn't seem to get panicked in the pocket, and in the long run, once that offensive line and his wide receivers start to develop with him, he's going to be a great quarterback.
Well, 28 of 49. I mean, you know, Bill Parcells, 49 passes for a Parcells team in a game that you're not 17 points behind for 239 yards for Bledsoe. Fun watching him throw. And sometimes he delivers that sidearm a la Sonny Jurgensen, doesn't he?
Yes.
Well, in overtime, the Patriots, when they go to overtime, it's usually not good. Because since they put overtime in the regular season in '74, New England has the worst record. They added or subtracted to it again today, 5-12. You see those others that are way below the Mendoza line of 500 when it comes to overtime games. But hope for New England, they look good. And Jimmy Mack, does he give the Vikings a hope, or do the Bears give him a rude welcome back? Jimmy Mack against his old mates in a moment. He had left the Bears after the '88 season, but Jim McMahon had not seen them playing for several other teams. San Diego, Philadelphia, and now Minnesota. Hadn't seen him until today. Today he had a chance as a Viking to face his old friend. Everybody remembers young Jimmy Mack with a headband as the Bears. Well, would Steve McMichael, his teammate, second oldest defender of the NFL, have mercy? A little bit. He gets him, and then it go down gently, Jim. Okay. Former teammate Richard Dent. You want to see people say, well, Dent can't do it anymore. Watch this. And Tommy, he just reaches around the blocker, and you get down.
And this was happening all day as long as McMahon was in the pocket.
Trace Armstrong, now he doesn't have the affiliation to McMahon, and he nails him. It's called roughing the passer. Dave wants that. Wait a minute, he was right there. He was right in his face. McMahon wants to know where's the protection. Meanwhile, Neil Anderson, first start of the year, and early on gave the Bears some hope. Slicing for 15 yards up the middle. Then, on the draw, Anderson hits the big hole up the middle. It goes for 19 more yards down to the 1, setting up a Harbaugh 1-yard run. And the Bears lead at 7-0. What about Barry Word? I mean, only became a Viking less than 2 weeks ago. Never a discouraging word today for Barry. Ran 13 yards up the middle. Then what's Chris Carter, number 80? Throw a block right there to help Springward for some yards, and Barry looked good.
Yeah, and Chris, you say he only joined them 2 weeks ago. It doesn't take more than 2 weeks to learn to do this. Lower your head, get into the pile, and push the pile.
7 yards on that play. Then Word goes 10 more, barreling off left guard up to the 5-yard line, set up a field goal by Revay, 7-3 Chicago. Barry, 94 yards rushing, 58 receiving for a $153. Pretty good day at the office. Now fourth quarter, still 7-3 Bears. 3rd and 2, Jimmy Mack. Finds Steve Jordan from Brown University. First down. Then Mack back to work. Dumps it to Barry Word. Has some blockers with him, and Word takes a 27-yard rumbling, bumbling to the sideline. Then on 3rd down, McMahon. Now Jimmy knows to move out of the pocket a little bit. And what does Chris Carter do, Tommy?
Just catch his touchdown.
That's all he does. 16 yards, 8 minutes to go. The Vikings lead at 10-7.
And as you say, the Vikings made the adjustment, started doing a good job of moving McMahon out of the pocket, took some of that pressure off of him.
So the Vikes, not a pretty win for the Bears. Their first 0-2 start since 1982. Watch, that's going to have a couple of years to change things around and go his way. In the meantime, they'll take their lumps. And the Vikings beat the Bears today 10-7. A big day for Barry Word. Jimmy Mack 23-29 for 173 yards each team with 4 sacks. One thing the Vikings have done in winning their division last year, and hopefully for them winning again, is beat the teams in the NFC Central. In 90 and 91, they were 6-10 against their divisional foes, but last year, now this win over the Bears, 8-1. That's a good way to get it done. Good job by the Vikes. When we return, would it be Moon over Kansas City? What about Joe Montana? Didn't he play for the Chiefs now? Well, we thought so, but maybe not today. We'll be back.
are some tough birds.
It's only week 2, but some very important games we'll look back on here to see how things shape up in December and January. A couple teams that have been in the playoffs throughout the 90s in the AFC, Kansas City and Houston, met at the Dome. Warren Moon had some tough ribs, but he went today. But for KC, no Joe, no go. That's kind of the way it worked as you watch what happened. Marty Schottenheimer deciding to leave Joe Montana on the bench. Buddy Ryan, of course, all sorts of stuff swirling with Buddy for NFL game day. How would his defense look? Well, first they watched Warren Moon to Webster Slaughter for 13 yards. Then Moon to Webster Slaughter for 10 yards. Then Moon to Haywood Jeffries for 8 yards. And the quarter changes directions, and Moon keeps on rolling. And look at Warren. Look at the veteran go. Down to the 2-yard line. 2 plays later, Moon, the play fake. He threads the needle. What a pretty-looking pass. When only Curtis Duncan could get it. 7-0 Oilers. Kevin Gilbride's offense. 19-play, 80-yard drive. 11:40 elapsed on the clock. Well, without Marty Schottenheimer, had to go with David Craig today, who learned that William Fuller is the rush man. Who batted down not 1, not 2, but William Fuller is the block man. He blocked 3 passes today. Not a lot of passing yards for Craig. Most of them came on this superlative play. Willie Davis played a great center field for the Dodgers, played center field for the Chiefs on this one, Tom.
You know, Chris, part of our game plan against Dave Craig always included we expected him to put the ball on the ground 2 or 3 times during the course of a game. It has to do with the size of his hands. He has very small hands, and as you watch this series of plays here, it just gets away from him a few times, always detrimental to the offense that he's playing for.
Well, Buddy was thinking shutout. It was 7-0 Oilers at the half. Second half, Joe still on the bench. Craig struggling. This time he avoids Fuller, but what's that? Late in the third quarter, 10-0 Oilers. Craig back to pass, and it's picked off. The duck is picked off by Marcus Robertson. He just could go all the way. The fans think he's in. They celebrate. He did step out a couple times late and set up a field goal, made it 13-0. Craig is frustrated, but thinks the Chiefs can come back. It's a 16-0 in the fourth. Pass to Mike Dial. And after he gets stood up by Chris Dishman, he's kind of running. His time is run with a sundial. Dishman picks it off. And look at Dishhead run. He's gone. He does go all the way. 58 yards, 23-0 Oilers. For Marty, there'll be better days. For Joe, hopefully there'll be days when he plays. For the Oilers, all the turmoil, at least for 1 week, they can dance it away. And the Houston Oilers had a late touchdown by Low White and the Seven Dwarfs. And the Oilers beat Kansas City 30-0, holding the Chiefs to 46 yards rushing. Last time Kansas City was shut out in 1987. That was before the Marty Schottenheimer era. The Eagles and the Packers. Much ado about this one. The tundra was not yet frozen at Lambeau Field. The last time they met a couple of weeks ago, Reggie White was sacking Brett Favre. And Randall Cunningham, 91, was lost for the season. Knee injury, Bryce Pop. That was actually Mikowski, not Favre, 2 years ago. Fast forward to 93. White forces a fumble by Randall, and a great script early. Reggie forces fumble for old mate and old quarterback. Green Bay gets ball. This time, the rush by Johnny Holland, picked off by Matt Brock.
And it's an interesting defensive scheme. Matt Brock up in the line of scrimmage, looks like he's in the rush position, takes 2 steps forward, gets into pass coverage. Randall Cunningham never sees him.
So the turnover, the Pack takes advantage. Brett Favre to Sterling Sharp. This will go for 36 yards. Same drive. Favre barking signals. He looked so good against the Eagles last year. Remember, he separated the shoulder, played great. Touchdown to Sharp, 7-0 Pack. Mike Holmgren thinking the Pack can go 2-0 for the first time since 82. Oh, by the way, that's the last time they made the playoffs. Third possession for the Eagles. They already have 2 turnovers. Reggie White. Again, look at him strip Cunningham of the football, Tom.
Yeah, you see number 61 here. Eric Floyd pulls slightly to the right. Reggie White only needs a little bit of a crease to get to Randall Cunningham. And then look at the chop on the ball.
This sets up a field goal by Jackie. It's 10-0. The Pack is fired up. Second quarter, same score. 3rd and 8. Randall Cunningham fakes, then hit as he releases the ball. Was his arm in motion? Well, Tom, the official made a good call here.
Yeah, the official made a good call here. It's ruled a fumble. Bad news for the Eagles, is it?
Well, good news for the Eagles. The ball bounced forward 8 yards. They recovered, so it was a first down. The drive continues. Mark Bavaro, the former Giant. The touchdown from Cunningham. It's a 10-7 game. You're looking at Keith Millard. That's how he plays. That's how this game was played. Favre caps a 58-yard, 8-minute drive with a toss to his tight end, Jackie Harris, who bowls his way at the 2-1. It's a touchdown. And the Pack in control, 17-7. But in the fourth. Rich Kotite's team coming back. Favre trying to throw the ball away. What? Ill-advised, and Eric Allen, the Pro Bowler, picks it off. Eagles march down the field. Field goal, 17-10. And 10 minutes to go. Cunningham. Good pressure. Reggie double team. Almost gets him. What's the launcher? To Victor Bailey. What a beautiful throw, and we're tied at 17.
Yeah, a great job here by the tackle. Anton Davis doing just enough to keep Reggie White pinned inside, lets him go so he doesn't get the holding call, and then the athleticism of Randall Cunningham.
Next drive for the Pack. Favre, feeling the heat of the fired-up Eagle D, tries to throw it away. Look at that. He tries to... Nobody around. He has to throw the ball away. So the score tied at 17 all. Rich Kotite waiting for the team to get into field goal range. Who framed Roger Ruzak? With just seconds to go, the Eagles come from 10 down. They're fired up. Reggie disconsolate as the Eagles come back to beat the Pack on a big day. 23 of 29 for Cunningham. In the second half, most of his damage was done. The Eagles win it. And, you know, much was said that the Eagles are in trouble and everything else. They're the team that's 2-0 as, frankly, they held the Packers to 159 yards in offense. Good job by the Eagle D. The former Eagles Supreme Defender, the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, emotional afterwards.
They told me that they love me. You know, I love them too, you know. And, you know, pretty much told me to keep my head up. Anton told me, you've been there for a long time, and I'm just getting there. And, you know, so, I mean, it was emotional. There's a lot of play against guys that you busted your tail with for 8 years. I mean, it was emotional.
Reggie, certainly that was a game that he looked forward to as soon as the schedule came out. Big plays from big play guys in that game, Tom.
Yeah, we knew that Randall Cunningham was going to be under a lot of pressure in this game because he has a battered offensive line in front of him. I thought he got battered in the first half, but then he let his athleticism take over in the second half. We saw him doing a lot of things outside the pocket and down the football field.
Now let's go back to the Houston-Kansas City game. I mean, David Craig has had some good days. Obviously, he's a pro, but, I mean, Craig, instead of Montana, like a different team.
Well, I think it was a different team, and I think you have to wonder why it's a different team. And I'll refer to two games here, the game that Hebert played in and the game that Craig played in. You get a Kansas City team that looks great last week. This week, they can't put a point on the board. And every coach will tell you that one ball player does not make that much of a difference in a game. But I think what does make a difference is the mentality of a team changes depending on who the quarterback is. That's something for our viewers to ponder.
Well, of course, Buddy Ryan said afterwards, well, the way the Chiefs were blocking, I mean, it wouldn't matter who was quarterback. Well, we'll see. But
yeah.
And one game does not mean that the Chiefs are disconsolate at the way Craig backs up because they feel very confident in their quarterback position. But last week, they get Joe, admittedly against the Buccaneers, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 27 points. Today, they get David, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, no points. Who will they get in week 3? Monday night against John Elway in Denver. I think we know who's going to play in that one. When we return, a lot of the late games, including Buffalo and Dallas, and Mark Rypien. Monday night was great. Today, a whole other story against the Cards.
We are on the forefront of attempt.
RFK Monday night, and obviously the nation saw how good the Washington Redskins look, how good Mark Rypien looked. And into town comes Phoenix, who has no success at RFK. So you play it on paper, you just write it down, right, Rob?
You would think that's the case, especially playing Washington after a Monday night game, because, my goodness, I think I should put on a mic.
Well, here, we got mics here.
Let me just get that for you right now, and let's
live television, folks, you got to love it.
It doesn't get any better than this. The Cardinals, as Boomer was saying, they know firsthand how tough it is to play at RFK. They hadn't won there since 1978, 14 straight losses. And under Joe Bugel, they have been outscored 106-3 in 3 games at RFK. Former Redskin Gary Clark back at RFK, where it has been the house of horrors for Joe Bugel and the Cardinals. This bears repeating. The last 3 visits at RFK, they've been outscored 106-3. Would it be the same old story? 3rd and goal on the 1-yard line. Cards couldn't punch it in, TJ.
Yeah, this is an idea of the kind of toughness that the Washington Redskins have up on the front of the line, and that hasn't changed in years.
First quarter, 3rd and 8. Mark Rypien to Ernest Biner. It slips through his fingers. He never had possession. That forced the punt. Former Dolphin, Reggie Roby, his first punt as a Redskin, and watch what happens. Johnny Bailey is gone. 58 yards for the score, and the Cards go up 7-0. Remember, this is RFK. Still in the first quarter. Greg Davis going for a 53-yard field goal. It's in there. The longest field goal in Cardinals history. 10-0 Cards. Joe is pumped. Then in the second, Mark Rypien to Ark Monk. who ties Ossie Newsome with at least one reception in 150 games. In the next play, Mark Rypien out of the pocket trying to gain some yards, but Eric Swan, look at him, he comes in with a hard hit. Now that hurts. Rypien would have to go out with a sprained ligament in his right knee. In comes Kerry Conklin, only 2 for 2 lifetime in his NFL career. He got racked, 2nd and 10. Ken Harvey nails him, forcing the fumble. Richie Pettibone not too happy because Washington was down 17-zip at the half. 3rd quarter, Conklin to Ricky Sanders. First touchdown for Washington. They're back within 10. Will they come all the way back? In the 4th quarter, 2nd and 25, Conklin to Rod Middleton. Keep an eye on the middle of the field. Chuck Cecil just nails Middleton, TJ.
Yeah, you see here the straight up hit, and he's leading with the crown of the helmet, which is supposed to be illegal.
Right, and things would only get worse for Washington. Ken Harvey with his 3rd sack of the game. Then in the 4th quarter, 3rd and 1, under 3 minutes left. No timeout for the Cards. Garrison Hurst came through, getting the 1st down and much more. The Cards run out the clock from there. Rypien, an MRI on Monday to determine the damage in his right knee. Joe Bugle, the former Washington assistant, his first victory at RFK, nails down the victory by a final of 17-10. The 15-year drought has ended for the Cards at RFK. The win snapped a string of 7 straight wins for Washington on the Sunday following a Monday night game. Oh, by the way, rookie Ron Moore, his first touchdown for the Cards. Both teams are now 1-1. The home opener for the LA Rams, and the Steelers made their first ever non-strike appearance in Anaheim Stadium. Kevin Greene back to his old stomping grounds. In his 8-year career with the Rams, he recorded 72.5 sacks, first on the all-time Rams list. But it was a frustrating day for Greene. On this play, he drops Cleveland Gary for a 5-yard loss, but he couldn't get to the passer. 39-year-old Jackie Slater providing great pass protection. Jim Everett took advantage of it, scoreless in the 1st quarter. Everett hits Penn State rookie Troy Drayton on the delayed screen. He gets some great blocking. Goes 23 yards, Rams up 7-zip. Drayton's first touchdown, and it's Everett's first touchdown of the new season. Then in the 2nd quarter, Rams up 7-0. Big day for Henry Ellard. He rolls out, Everett does, and he finds Ellard for 14 yards. Ellard between 2 defenders for a 33-yard gain. Same drive, 3rd and 8 from the Steeler 14-yard line. Ellard again down to the 6. Ellard with 8 catches, 120 yards in the first half alone. Then the 3rd and 4 inside the Steelers' 6-yard line. Cleveland Gary up the middle with a touchdown. Rams on top, 14-0, and the Rams defense stymied Pittsburgh. Neil O'Donnell drops back, hits Barry Foster on the screen pass, but Roman Pfeiffer stops him for a 5-yard loss. O'Donnell pressured again. Sean Gilbert said, "You're standing there, I'm going to put you down." 2 sacks on the day. Yeah, go on with your bad self, Gilbert. Down 17-0. Steelers ball late in the 3rd, 4th and 2. Bill Cowher, he goes for it. Barry Foster, take your pick of which Rams stopped them. Turnover on downs. Strange moment in the 4th. Look, in street clothes, David Lang smacks Adrian Cooper upside the head. What's up with that? Late in the 4th quarter, Rams up 20-zip. Jerome Bettis busts through. Rambles 29 yards for his first NFL touchdown. Rams up 27-zip. That's how it would end. Kevin Greene all smiles with his old mates on this afternoon. Henry Ellard, 9 receptions for 127 yards. As for the Steelers, they lose 27-zip. Against the NFC in the last 10 games, they're 1-9. They have never beaten the Rams on the road, Boomer.
Yeah, in anywhere. In Anaheim, in the Mausoleum, in Cleveland, in Akron, and I mean, wherever they played them. When we looked all this up, they got to try another conference. They got to get back to the AFC. Steelers begin 0-2. Well, a team that certainly had its very rough beginnings, the Jets, J-E-T-S, Jets, had not won any preseason games, looked bad last week in losing to the Denver Broncos. Most of them did until the 2nd half. But they go into Miami. You figure trouble for them? Well, oddly enough, the Jets usually play very well in Miami. And even though it was September, the September heat of South Florida, the New Yorkers felt like it was air conditioned. Boomer Esiason joined with Marco Coleman. Boomer feisty. 1st quarter, Dan Marino throws behind Irving Fryer. But Fryer knifes backwards to make the catch. Marino entering the game just 262 yards short of 40,000. More on that in a moment. Marino over the middle to Kid Jackson. Oh, Nelly, it's a touchdown. 57 yards, 7-0 Dolphins at the end of the 1st quarter. Early in the 2nd quarter, Boomer Esiason, who for close to 400 yards last week. He's going to have a star in number 85, Rob Moore. The leaping catch Let's take another look. Beautiful play, wearing Wesley Walker's number. No wonder he's good. And Boomer calls his own number. The Boomer of him with a touchdown, and we're tied at 7-all. 5 minutes later, Boomer, play action, which he's so very good at, goes deep to Moore again. Moore caught 5 in the first half.
Yeah, and Rob Moore shows that innate ability that Wesley Walker had to get deep and get behind the defense.
After that, Esiason again goes play action. Fakes the handoff, rolls left to Fred Baxter. Fred Baxter with a touchdown. It's 14-7. 2 minutes later, Marino to Mark Ingram. Out jumps Eric Thomas. 25-yard touchdown. A good game, 14-all at the half. Second half at Joe Robbie Stadium, John Offerdahl had to leave with a shoulder injury. No word on how long that might be. Remember, he's missed so many games the last couple of years. The flea flicker. Thomas back to Boomer. To the diminutive what? Terrence Mathis. Down to the Dolphins. 25 sets up a Blanchard field goal. 17-14 Jets. Jets keep Marino off the field in the fourth. Johnny Johnson lumbers to the right side for 20 yards. Dan with the towel on his shoulder, the Schmutz rag isn't going to help. Same drive. Boomer to Pat Chafee. Over the middle. 28 yards. Jets, Jets. They lead by 10. Marino, though, to Irving Fryer. Look at Irving cut back, get some blocks, and power down. Marino set a milestone, but it was Boomer Esiason again. And Bruce Cosley gets his first win this year, a much-needed win, I might add, as the Jets beat Miami 24-14. Boomer 323 yards today, which gives him almost 700 for the 2 games. He's gotten over 300 both weeks. As for Marino, 286 yards for Dante. That means he has reached hallowed ground. He's only the 4th quarterback to throw for over 40,000 yards. Sir Francis, Dan Fouts, Johnny Yu, and Dante. Congratulations, although I think Dan would have rather had the win. So each team ends at 1-1. We've got plenty to come, but first let's go inside the numbers. 100-yard rushers, just a pair. And a couple of guys that we saw in Hawaii last year at the Pro Bowl, Barry Sanders and Rodney Hampton. When we return, the Buffalo Bills spent all offseason thinking about the Dallas Cowboys and 52-17. Did they do something about it in Week 2 in Big D? We'll show you. Primetime continues. Mike or no Mike in a moment.
Now, go.
I mean, it sits there in the stomach of the Buffalo Bills like a real bad meal. Well, what happened? Week 2 at Dallas, it came time to eat again. Would it be better? Would the season be right? Marv Levy has a few tricks up his sleeve in the Super Bowl rematch. His new receiving weapon is Carwell Gardner from Louisville. He's the big fullback in a 10-yard play action. Kelly hits him 7-0 Bills. 3rd and 3. Kelly has the option to scramble with a bad knee to throw to Kevin Smith. Carwell Gardner then puts him down with a scissor hold, the sleeper hold, I think, Tommy. Aikman took his licks today.
Yeah, and Troy Aikman took a lot of those licks because Emmitt Smith is not there.
Why was Troy passing so much? Well, without Emmett, Derek Lassick, he ran okay, but then he found out. Even his brother Nate Lassick was frustrated. Emmitt Smith, yeah, I think people remember him. Even Thermal has number 22, Emmett, number on his ankle. 10-3, Buffalo with the half. Cowboys in trouble on 3rd down, 3rd and 1. Not this Darryl Talley. Lassick is stacked up, 3rd and 6, Aikman to Urban, but Michael drops it, trying to run before he catches it, and Jerry Jones, well, I tell you, it's a rough rule. Still 10-3. Lynn Elliott. Ex-Dallas kicker Lynn Elliott misses wide to the right. His second miss of the day, and Jimmy Johnson feeling a little pressure, not quite like last year. A Tisker, a Tasker. Steve Tasker, a Pro Bowler at the special teams position, shows why, makes the down on the 2. Troy Aikman tries to go to work. Play action to Jay Novacek, the Pro Bowl tight end. First down. Aikman. To all-everything receiver Michael Irvin. First down. Even Derek Gainer gets into the act with an 8-yard gainer on a draw play. Dallas marching toward the goal line. Aikman to the fullback Darryl Johnston. He bobbles, but holds on. 3rd and 4. Kevin Williams, the youngster, in motion, takes the handoff, and it's a touchdown. And we're tied at 10, a 98-yard drive. The East look like the defending champs. But on a punt, Tommy, he fumbled Monday night, and Williams does the same.
Yeah, Kevin Williams here trying to pick up some extra yardage, finds himself in the thick of the defense, and finally coughs the ball up. The Buffalo Bills recover, and although he was trying to get extra yardage, that will put you in Jimmy Johnson's doghouse.
And a field goal by Steve Christie made it 13-10. A minute 3 to go last. Gans Bakeman, Alvin Harper. First catch of the game with a minute to go. Then Gainer gets the Cowboys even closer inside the 10. Under 20 seconds to go. Is the magic there at 13-10. Aikman's pass for Novacek. Chip intercepted by Matt Darby, the dinosaur. His first career interception, none bigger in Buffalo Bill history. Jerry Jones has seen his team fall to 0-2. And the Bills extract revenge. They're 2-0. Buffalo winning in Dallas 13-10. We repeat, no team has ever begun a season 0-2 and made it to the Super Bowl. More on that in a moment. Chargers at the Broncos. Big game out west at Mile High. Two teams with designs on the AFC Western title and a big game in Denver. That's Alfonso Taylor. All 360 pounds of him. Carl Mecklenburg and no tackles last week, but that changed because he takes on a big carry and butts the line of scrimmage. Then he meets ex-Buffalo Bill Ronnie Harmon behind the line. And then they try Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. But look at DS49 and Mecklenburg finish it off. Dennis Smith and Carl Mecklenburg.
Yeah, you watch Dennis Smith. He never slows down when he gets ready to make a hit. He runs through the runner.
After a scoreless first quarter, here comes Elway to Shannon Sharp, the tight end. Next play, look at Elway, the dart, this time to Derek Russell. Next time, it's Arthur Marshall. The beauty of this, three totally different styles of passes, all successful, 35 yards, 17-0 Denver at the half. Elway in the second half, flags flying. He throws it to Arthur Marshall. It's tipped into the hands of Marquez Pope. Elway is not pleased. The flag was on Denver, and the Chargers try to capitalize. Stan Humphries to Derek Walker, splitting the defense on the post pattern. It's a touchdown.
And the reason this play was so easy, you look here, Darryl Hall, he thinks he's in the end zone, lets Walker go, and Dennis Smith is too late to make the play.
Darryl Hall looking like John Oates on that play. Broncos turn it over again, and the Chargers capitalize. Humphries to Nate Lewis. Nice play to get inside the flag, 17-14. Here come the lightning bolt.
Yeah, and this is great concentration by Nate Lewis here. Makes a nice cut to the outside, focuses in on the ball. Got to remember where his feet is. And there he is. He gets him in and gets him into the end zone.
So with the Chargers within 3 of Denver, Elway gets very serious and goes to his new, we say in quotes, new receiver. You remember him from the old days, Tom. Francis Johnson, who hauls in a 3rd and 18 for 52 yards, brings it down to the 1. Bernstein a touchdown against his old mates. The next play, 24-14 Denver. Then 27-17, 2.5 to go. Last chance. Where is that pass? Steve Atwater picks off Stan Humphries. Sets up a touchdown run by Robert Del Pino after Atwater gets done running it almost in himself. 68-yard return for Sean Jefferson tackles him. Simon Fletcher passed Rulon Jones, the all-time sack leader of Denver. Hey, it was a party because Denver always parties at Mile High. Since 1970, the Chargers 3-21 at Mile High against the Broncos. They haven't won there since '86. Denver 2-0, top of the division, as they beat San Diego 34-17. All right, let's start on that game. One thing we talked about last week on game day was that when they were ready, Wade Phillips likes the hurry-up offense. And you know how good John Elway is with 2 minutes to go, and I think that flustered the Chargers.
Yeah, it did. And when I was out there this week, they love that Jim Fossil offense. It allows Elway a lot more leniency as far as who he's throwing the ball to, where he's going to go with the football once he gets it. And there's nobody better in the game at improvising than John Elway.
I think Denver has opened up a lot of eyes. They could truly win this division. I think we see that. As for the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills, first of all, for Buffalo, last year, week 2, they went out to San Francisco and in a great game, beat the 49ers. Admittedly, that's not who beat them in the Super Bowl the year before. That kind of cleared their heads, I think, for the regular season. This win today certainly clears their heads.
Well, and I think if fans ever needed evidence of how much of the game is played up here, just watch the way this situation plays out in Dallas with Emmitt Smith sitting in Pensacola, Florida.
Well, that's not where he should be sitting, and everybody wants to see Emmitt play. But if history means anything, that 0-2, he never make it to the Super Bowl, it could be too late, at least for this year. And who would thought we would say that midway through September? 300-yard passing games, Wade Wilson against his former mates. I mean, Wade Wilson in 2 weeks has been absolutely spectacular. And Boomer on the 300-yard list for the second straight week. When we return, game ball. Some obvious, some not. Stay with us. We get all sorts of awards. To our prime time players. Now, I know he didn't win, but let me tell you, when you come in the game down by 21 points late in the third quarter, and you do things like this, like throw 98-yard touchdown passes, Bobby Hebert against his old mates, the Saints. I'm going to give him a game ball on this premise. I'm going to prorate his 20 minutes of action today. If he had played all 60 minutes, this is what his day would have looked like. 42 of 54, 729 yards, 9 touchdowns. You got to give him a game ball, Rob.
All right. Well, if Hebert had stayed put in New Orleans, he'd have a super young lineman protecting him, rookie Willie Roaf. Here he made a pancake out of Chuck Smith, and this blockout of Lester Archambro. One of the main reasons why Wade Wilson, you saw him on the 300 list, one of the main reasons Wilson had such a great day, the most productive day in Saints history, a record 557 yards of offense. I'll top that, TJ.
Well, my game ball is going to go to outstanding rookie linebacker Chris Slater of the New England Patriots. Today he accounted for 3 sacks. He forced a fumble. Here you see him getting after Rodney Peete. He has a great outside rush, uses his hands to get off of the defensive tackle, off the offensive tackle, and get around the corner. And there he not only causes the fumble, but he manages to pick it up. There you see his stats on the day: 5 tackles, 4 assists, 3 sacks, including a fumble recovery. We'll be right back.
It went from NFL Primetime has been brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Hey, we keep it rolling here with NFL action on ESPN. Prime Monday, 90 minutes beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time tomorrow night. Mike Tirico and the gang get you set for the 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. And I know you Steeler fans are upset you lost the game. They did beat the Rams at the Super Bowl at Pasadena. We don't understand that. Regular season, they never beat the Rams on the road. That gets it clear. For Robin and for Tom, I'm Chris. It was so much fun. We're going to do it again next Sunday. Thanks for joining us.